Hey everyone, it's me. I'm back, and I am definitely doing some stuff. We are doing some arting with the Alikat. We'll be working with the Let's Create a Manga stuff I'm involved with here. I'm waiting for Mac, my Mac to go to sleep. The monitor to go to sleep, but it's like right behind me. Since we'll be doing some traditional stuff today. I got some stuff I'm going to be working on. I want to kind of show. I did some traditional inking, manga inking, and I've also done some digital manga inking, and I printed things so I could take kind of a look at everything, see how I wanted to see it, and kind of get a feel for what I want exactly. Just want to get this. It's still not going to sleep. That's annoying. Have it set to a minute. I don't know if it's because I have the whatchamacallit. I have a YouTube video on pause. I'm not super worried about it. I'm also drying some laundry in the background, so that's the thing. Get the clothes. Yeah, so we're just kind of setting everything up here so I can get going. And let's see, what else do we got? I have a notebook that has the script in it. I need to do another pass on it at some point. Where in the hell did I put my ruffies? Not in there. Nope. Did I put them in here? Or are they? Oh, they're a bit under here. Yes, they are. I'm smart. Okay, they're just going to sleep. All right. Got the first 4 or 5 pages still roughed out. I've actually started sketching some of them out digitally, because I feel that working digitally would be kind of the thing that I want to do on it. So we shall see. So now I'm just hoping to see that any views or people talking in the chat, things of that nature. Hoping I can see stuff. Really hoping I can see stuff. All right. Let's put this over here a bit so I can see that. Oh, yeah. I got a couple of. I'm gonna go into here and pull a few things out. I also might try inking something on the stream too. So. Oops. I'm putting these things upside down. I have them. Yeah, not that big of a deal. This is kind of the first pass anyway, more than anything else, so. Alrighty. Doing this one too. No, that one looks like it's printed right. Weird. Okay. Not worried about it. Okay. So I literally have 4 different copies of the same cover here. The same piece. And basically, I gave 2 rounds of inking traditionally with it, and I used the tried and true manga classic, the G pen, which I have not inked with a dip pen in probably close to 30 years. That makes me feel very old. So I'm fairly certain when I was in high school, when I was in high school, I got into inking with a dip pen because I thought that all of the um, all inkers used a dip pen. At the time, they probably used between a dip pen and a brush more. Microns were a thing, but they weren't to the extent that they are now. Um, and I know that there's a lot of serious professional inkers out there who still swear by dip pens and brushes and things like that. Whether it be the traditional crow quill, the Maru pen, the G pen, any of those. Um, there's lots of different ways of doing things. Okay. I'm not just drinking Pepsi today either. Pepsi Zero today, but I'm also drinking water. I'll be going to that next. Because hydration is key. Alright, so I'm going to kind of arrange these in order that I did them. And I actually printed out my digital inks twice because I noticed I was running a little bit low on the black ink, and I figured if I printed again, I might get a more solid black on some of my black spots, and that didn't happen. So, mild nuisance. And actually, I'm not quite done with with this one. Okay, but let's switch over to the art stuff and see what we have, shall we? We also get to see if I have to change things, because, that's my life. No, it's okay in the preview. Alright, so over on the art tab, and also I do want to do a quick check on YouTube and stuff to make sure that I'm seeing everything correctly. I'm fairly confident with Twitch. That seems to work pretty well for me. But sometimes with YouTube, I have some issues. Let's see. Okay, let's go into this. It is showing me live. I'm just going to mute here for a moment. Okay, let's go into this. It is showing me live. I'm just going to mute here for a moment. Okay, everything looks good. So hopefully I will see chat and everything else, and everything will be happy hunky-dory so I can talk with you wonderful people out there in TV land, or computer land, or wherever the hell you watch your content. I don't judge. Much. Again, probably in about a little over an hour, we'll probably hear a beeping sound, or buzzing sound. It's more of a buzzing sound, and that will tell me that the, whatchamacallit, the laundry is done. And I tossed all my inking pens pretty much into my other little bag. Into the dinosaur bag. So we gotta get the dinosaur bag. Dinosaurs are cool. Anyone who disagrees with me is wrong. Yeah, there we go. That's right, I also got a bunch of Posca pens in here and stuff. But yeah, I got my silly microns and other things all in here. And I use a variety of like the Sakura microns and regular microns. I also have some Copics. I have a kitten wandering around behind me who may or may not show up on stream in a little bit. That is wait to be seen. Yeah, these are basically my travel kiddo stuff, is what I'm kind of looking at here. I'll just dump that there. Okay. Alright, so lots of Let's see. That's a Sakura Micron. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the symbol on it. I think right there. Right there. That's a little Sakura symbol. So I got some of those. I got some regular microns. I got a few others too. Just stuff. This is mostly just microns over here right now. Pretty handy for me to do some quick fills and things with. Actually, I forgot my other brush pen. So I grab that too. I have some Faber-Castell ones too. Faber-Castell, whatever the hell how to pronounce it. They're around too. They are in one of my art supply boxes, which I have a lot of those. Put that there. And I forgot my Sakura. Right. So this is my first go with the G Pen. Is this piece right here? I didn't fill in the amount of stuff that I filled in on the actually had a blown micron yesterday. I ended up throwing out. It was definitely exploded. Where's my Pentel? Okay. That is not the Pentel one. That is the good one. So what else do we got here? Checking stuff out. Okay, must be in the other bag. And I just missed it. Forget the name of the oh, yeah, it's right there. Okay. Do I have the needed? Yes, I have the gum eraser. Oh, needed eraser. We got a bunch of white erasers of varying size. Got the amazing whiteout and other stuff. Okay, so this is my first shot at it. Inked it with on Wednesday. I did this before I ran my game. I got a few errors I have to correct with the whiteout up here and in a few other little spots here and there. This is the second piece I did, and I actually did this yesterday while I was at the studio, because I wanted to get another kind of feel on using the G Pen. So I went through there, and this is all with the Sakura brush pen here, because there's no way I was going to ink all that with a G Pen. That was definitely screaming to be brush me. And again, I got a few little corrections I got to make here and there, but for the most part, that's done. Now this is the first printing I did, and you can see there's some parts where it didn't print through all the way. Mean printer, not printing the way you're supposed to. Granted, I thought it was because it was low on ink. So I was like, okay. And this was the second one I just did that printed with fresh black ink, and it did the same damn thing. So I just can't win. Actually, how did the chosen print up on that? It's better in some ways. I have a lot more spot black on these, but I'm thinking I'm going to work with this one a little bit, the second one of these, and kind of get an idea of do a little some fills and fixes and a few other little things here and there. And then I might do some inking with the G Pen. I do want to extend a few things out with the G Pen. Kind of go from there with it. So one of the things I did immediately, this is a deleter manga paper. It is the professional ones, which is the paper is B4 and it has the lines on it along with and it's basically an A4 size. They call it B4 for some reason. I don't know if it's the thickness or something like that. I'm not really sure. Frankly, I don't care. So it's about the same amount of money. I think they're a hair more expensive. I mean by a hair like $1. And that will probably be good until the tariffs screw everything. But hey, it is what it is. I bet that view is my view. And before I go out with the G Pen on anything, I'll pull out my zebra pens and go in with those. Yeah, put that out too. I don't know why I pull all this stuff out, but it makes me feel like I have stuff. That's probably not a good thing. So we're gonna glove up my smudge glove. It's funny because this came with my Gauman tablet I had for a bit. I got a cheap tablet to lug around with me a few years ago, and yeah, I was pretty happy with it. Yeah, it's a pretty good tablet, so I was happy with the way it worked and stuff. So, but I got my bonus check from when I was working, and then I went and I bought a 16-inch Wacom with it, and I liked that a bit better. And I actually gave the Galman to a couple of cousins of mine. They appreciate it. I don't really know why I didn't print the entire thing. So there's actually a bit more to the leg on both of these. I didn't seem to print it. Oh well. I'm not gonna really worry about it. Spotty in a few places. I could use the G pen, but I figure I'm just doing a couple of quick corrections to push a few things. So I figure it's really not worth it. In that case, I know what I was thinking there. Get back to Yep. So this is digital inks, like I said. Mostly digital inks. So the inking on its own looks pretty good. So kind of like it. I have to admit, I like drawing covers. They're fun. I like drawing characters, like, in big dots and everything. Alright, let's go through and do some fixes. We will start at the top because that is smart. Most likely the ink just needed to go through. Also, this is a very thin paper. I usually prefer printing out on Bristol board. This is definitely not a Bristol board. The only reason I got this like actually years ago, this paper. And I was like, wow, this is really thin. I was kind of annoyed because I like Bristol board because it's thicker. And I was like, okay, well, I can just draw my manga on that. I figure I got this paper. I might as well use it. So that is why we are using it. I figure I am trying to become a professional mangaka. Yeah, mangaka. That word is hard for me. Granted, I don't speak very good Japanese. I can kind of get the gist of it if I hear it, but not really. Definitely bad at the language. Thank God the person I'm working with speaks English. Just so happened they were in Japan. It's actually probably a little off there. But I'm not worried about that right now. I'm still not positive on the mass design of what I want to do with it, so this could change. I know I want the hoodie, and I know I want kind of this form. I also have to decide what do I want to do for the background for this thing and stuff like that. So this piece is definitely not done yet. I mean, probably the finished piece will probably be done for the most part digitally, but stuff I wanted to work on and kind of get a feel for. And I wanted to show everybody kind of stuff that I was doing. Thought it'd be fun to see Allison lose her mind trying to work with G Pen, which we will be seeing that because I'm going to ink something fresh with the G Pen. I also have to decide how I want to do texturing and other such things with this. I am excited. Very excited. Okay, I'm just going to ask everybody to bear with me for a moment. Just going to mute for a sec. I'll still be here, but I'm so paranoid after that chatting situation I had last week where I wasn't seeing anything that I just have to constantly keep checking. It's driving me nuts. Actually, I'm going to give the Twitch one a quick look. I highly doubt there'll be an issue, but we're going to look. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, still fine, which is I thought so, but again, I'm paranoid. I also should be seeing my Twitch notifications will show up on the screen on this as well, which I'm happy about. Oh, I just noticed that. One of those. There we go. Yeah, but this was done with. I inked this with Kyle's brushes. Specifically, I was using his really cool nib number 2 or something like that. I liked it. I played with a few of them. I did a little bit with the G Pen in Clip Studio and the real G Pen in Clip Studio, and then I was like, well, I always like Kyle's brushes. Let's see what he does. And he did some amazing stuff. So I did this primarily with one of his think it was an animation nib. It's like the really cool nib 2 or something like that. I think that was it. I don't fully remember. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, so that's mostly corrected there. Okay, so that's basically kind of what I wanted to see and how things looked with me working with the G Pen and digital inks, see which I kind of like better and what I want to go with. Because I'm not against um, doing all my pencils digitally than inking traditionally, but that will lead to the fact that I'll have to do scans, and that's more time. And professional mangaka, they time is usually not their friend. So I'm leaning heavily more towards I should just do all this digitally. And I can print out certain pages with like the pencils and things. I could do over them later and I could sell those. Because there's the whole it's a classic way of looking at things where you get paid for your work 3 times. I actually learned this from a cartoonist named David Kellett, who did this comic strip called Sheldon. I think he's got another one too. The Sheldon's the one I remember. I know I've read his. I'm pretty sure he has another strip too. I think I've read it, but Sheldon's the big one. And he had this whole idea when working with when working on a project, any type of comic strip, you get paid 3 times. The first time is when you post it online and everything, so you can get paid through your ad revenue for whatever you're doing with your webcomic. Um, and you know that's the first time. In some ways, you're giving the first time away as well because most people who visit a webcomic don't pay for it. Uh, then I have the second time is when you get it reprinted in a book and people buy the book. So that'd be the second time it's there. In the third time of getting paid is when you is when you sell the original artwork. So you get paid 3 times. And I need a cup of water or the dip pen and a paper towel or something and probably a tissue. So I'm just going to be right back, guys. Everybody hold tight. I'm not going away for long. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to get the excuse me the water or the dip pen to clean in, and I also needed to get a paper towel just because it's a good thing to wipe stuff down in. I got my snot rags because my nose loves to leak. Pretty much doesn't matter what time of year it is, it leaks. And then we got yeah. I can also if I don't use it for that, I can also do some interesting ink effects with the tissue paper. Okay, so let's do this. I might tie my hair back. I want to tie my hair back. It's amazing watching a girl tie her hair back. It's ponytail time. There it is. Okay. As long as I don't snap the stupid thing while I'm doing this, so that's very annoying. I hate it when that happens. Hopefully my mug is looking okay. Alright. Got some stray hair here and there, and that's kind of par for the course, it seems. Alright, now then. For ink, I have two different choices. I'm using the Winsor & Newton ink, which is their Black Indian ink. I've been using that. I also have a bottle of Black Magic, which is by Higgins. Higgins Black Magic. They changed the formula on that a few years ago, I noticed, and it's not as good. Because I inked with a brush for quite a while, and I used to use their ink to ink with a brush. And I found that they made some changes that I just wasn't a fan of. I don't know what it was, just wasn't as cool. Okay, so we're going to go with the G Pen. Now then, one of the things about a G Pen that's interesting is that that's not what I was thinking. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. One of the things you got to do if you got a nib, you need to dissolve the oil stuff on it. It's kind of like if you ever paint a resin figure or anything like that, you have to wash them first. So you wash the basically the material off of the resin material off that is on there because it makes it so the paint won't grab. This is similar to do with that. Now you can dip it in alcohol. You can do it in like boiling water, or just like really hot water. You can leave it in for a bit and it'll break it down. No joke. You could just stick the thing in your mouth, and as long as you don't like swallow or something, you'll probably be fine. But your saliva will break it down as well. My art teacher in high school swore by doing that. I've actually never done that because I thought it was gross. But yeah, he would do it, and he'd be like, "Yep, just stick it in your mouth for a bit, and you can feel it it'll take it right off on a new one." You're supposed to only dip to about where the hole is, and then you can go in and start. Now, I should have done some warm-up swishes, but yeah. It definitely grabs the paper. This is a Strathmore Bristol board, so it's the paper is pretty good. I like it. I'm going to move the water up over here because I want to be able to turn this. So, inking with the crow quill. Use it a lot. Well, G pen. I feel like this is getting a little low. The one thing about this is you refill it a lot. Probably turn it a bit more. I haven't quite gotten the perfectly smooth line with these yet, but again, I haven't inked with one of these since I was like in high school. I might have been like a sophomore or junior in high school when I started inking with a dip pen, and I didn't stick with it for very long because I like doing the brush a bit better. But when I was talking with the manga people, I'll call it, they were saying that they like people working with the G pen. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be relearning how to do that. phone over there. They're like, can you do it with the G pen if you ink traditionally? And I'm like, sure, I can do that. And this is my cardinal character, who is one of he's affiliated with Shelley Skeleta, and he is a he's not technically a servant of hers. He actually serves a different master. Which I don't really want to get into, because I don't even know if I'm going to get to that part. So as of right now, the main book itself, none of these characters will be appearing in it. I'm giving her a completely different villain to fight for the one shot. So tell a complete story with this villain, and people want to go further with it, they can open it up for more. I don't know if anybody's been watching it, but The Pit, incredible TV shows. One episode left. They have this tendency of really knowing how to end an episode. It's amazing. It's basically an emergency room procedural show. Stars Noah something. He was like on ER and things. Really great show. It's told over basically one shift. So it's a 12-hour shift. And it's set at this Pittsburgh hospital. And they call the emergency room the Pit. Which really annoys one of the characters in it. But hey, yeah, it is what it is. She's like the hospital administrator. She has some issues with Dr. Rabinowitz, or Dr. Robbie, as everybody calls him. Star was on like ER and other shows like that, and he wrote this one up, and it's pretty cool. So I really like the show a lot. There's one episode left, so it'll be going into hour 12. I'm curious of how much of it will, how much of the story will, basically, how much have they hinted at things that will happen from earlier? Do we have a Chekhov's gun situation? Pretty much literally. But then we will see. The glasses keep coming down. As long as I don't get my head in the frame. But yeah, so we're making manga. Oh, the one of the things I decided to do with the manga also is I made what I call a James Bond opening on it. So it opens up with a sequence is like where she just finishes a mission. That she's off to do something, and we get the last fight before at the end of the mission before she goes back to wherever it is that she goes, and it'll be kind of interesting. One of the things I used to love about the James Bond movies is that the opening mission, as it were, the opening sequence was it had nothing to do with the plot for the most part. It was just the last mission that he was on. And that's basically what I was trying to do with it. So I started kind of plotting that out and doing some things with it. Now the cardinal is a shard bearer like Ashley is. But he has been corrupted. So he goes way back to some of my old science fiction comic strips and things I did years ago. He's a major villain, and then he's basically my excuse to draw Darth Vader. It's kind of how he started off. But he basically doesn't detransform. He's always in his armor. Always in his armor. But he's a Sentai character, the way our heroine is, and kind of shows that there's more than one of these people who are chosen. At one point, he was chosen, so he was a hero at one point. And he fell to darkness. And the shards are like anything else, that once you have one, it's yours. And it doesn't really matter what you do, the shard stays with you. You can't get rid of them. They're literally a part of you. And unfortunately for Ashley, Cardinal is much more experienced using his shard and understands the powers more. He also has had more formalized training in how to fight and things, so he's a bit more dangerous than her. Again, he's kind of the Darth Vader character. That being said, I don't have any plans to redeem him. Or if he does redeem, he does not get a happy ending. I have to remember to blink. Now, I wanted to do some inking also with my Maru pen, but apparently I broke it. So, that won't be happening. I'm going to be making an order from Jet Pens probably next week to get some new nibs. I also want to try some of the nibs that some mangakas swear by and see how I like them. This one's I think this one's like from one of the cartoonist like the cartoonist like nib set that you can get like at an art store. I want to try I think the Taka something. I don't remember. But they seem to make a lot of them. There's also some zebra nibs that look pretty good that had really high ratings and stuff. So I want to check those out. Yeah, that was my thought process. There's a few other things I want to get. Like I want to get some of the actual white ink. As much as it's relatively easy to use the Presto things, but just like going down with some ink might be even easier. And then I'll have like a nib that I can use just for that. I also have brushes. I mean, I got a bunch of brushes right below me too, so. Straighten that line. Maybe my friends are watching and I'm not seeing comments or whatnot. Shoot me a text, just so I know. Because I want to be able to respond to comments and questions, but I'm always paranoid that nothing's working, especially after that day. Looks like everything should be fine, but actually, I know one way I can check it out. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that in a sec. So this would be an area where I could go in and do a little fixing with some whiteout. I don't really want to use the Presto one in there because it's such a small gap. But hey, so I'm going to try this real quick. I'll do a hello world to everyone. And I should see that inside of OBS as well. Definitely saw it on Twitch. And I see it there. So it looks like it's gone through. And I do see it over here. So that should be good. Excellent. Makes me feel a little better. Now, before I go and start doing more of that arm, I should probably get the face done. Along with the eyepiece. Which in his case resembles a shard. But I'm remember not to do that with it. Really only go one way. Can go the other way, but yeah. Better off really not to. When you're pulling your lines. And one of the other designs I was influenced by for the Cardinal was the Vorlons of Babylon 5. They had this look, and I thought it was so cool looking. So I was inspired by that a little bit with how they look. I'm also curious if I didn't remove enough of that stuff on this, that if these should be holding more ink. I mean, theoretically, you dip them enough, you use them enough to break it down anyway, especially if you're washing it a lot and things. If anyone's curious, the last Sentinel's going to print next week. Be going off on Wednesday. It's going to get printed. Hopefully, I have the digital copies out to people then. And I will also, as soon as I get them, I'll be doing the mailing enjoyment of packing things into Gemini mailers and send them off. Remember, if you need Gemini mailers, definitely use the Indie Comics discount that we have on Gemini mailers. You get 10% off. I think it's like Gemini 10 or something's the code. If you watch any of our videos, there's usually an ad for it at the end of it. So. Gotta make sure that it doesn't split as I'm doing it. Just got a message, so hopefully it's not somebody telling me. Huh, a book I ordered came in. May pick that up tomorrow. Don't feel like going out today. Also, I'm streaming. It'd be kind of rude for me to be like, all right, guys, we're done. I'm gonna go get a role playing game book. I'm gonna use all my store credit on it because I got a book. Their blades are summonable, so something I thought would be kind of cool because I always like the summoning the sword type thing out of nowhere. And I think I'm going to be putting like an energy crackle on them as well, so they have kind of a lightsaber-ish look to the blades. So that's a pretty cool line right there I just threw where it's a bit thicker as I turned it. So I'm getting a little bit better control of this. The trick to drawing kind of a straight line without a ruler is you look where you're going. Don't look where you are. You look where you're going to take the pen and move it to. And that will let you kind of do a straight line. It's never perfect, but you definitely can get decent at it. Generally, the faster you go, if you're doing it like you practice it enough, you kind of gauge where you're going to go with it, and you can do them pretty fast. But yeah, that's where that goes. I've already been inking for, well, I've been on for just about an hour. Not bad. Probably not going to go super long today, because I said I got laundry going and stuff, and that's going to be finishing up soonish. And there's some other things I want to do. And of course, we're going to gotta admit, throwing lines with these is pretty good. It's fun. My thought process, if I was to do fill this in, I don't know if I'd fill a lot of these with blacks, or if I do them in grays, or if I would use like screen tones. Screen tones is kind of where I lean to do some of my shading and stuff, because again, it's kind of the manga tradition, and I think screen tones are cool. I always liked Zipatone when I was a girl, so used it a little bit back in high school and stuff. But didn't use it a lot. Remember, it was really expensive. Which is kind of annoying. That right there, that is a whiteout candidate if I ever saw. I think it's easier to push than pull. So the other reason I kind of like with the Strathmore paper is I don't feel like I'm cutting the paper with the nib, because the leader paper is really thin. It does just kind of scooch right across it without much issue, but it's this fear that I have that, and I've done a little bit. I've definitely gotten a bit of the paper to bunch up on me when I was inking. Not a ton, just like a little bit. And it's like, oh, crying out loud. I want to hatch those, maybe. I don't know, think about it. I do like hatching. So there again, I separated the nib. So I had no ink there, and it separated a bit. Very aggravating. Yeah, well, this is definitely an interesting way of doing it. You do have really good control of the line. Just over an hour. Going a bit longer. Probably go till my laundry is done, which won't be too much longer. The dryer to complete. If I was blacking this out, I wouldn't even worry about that little excess line I have here because it'd just be covered in the blackout. Which, who knows, I might still do, but I haven't fully thought about it yet. I might just do the arm there until basically where he has his armored gloves. And let's kind of get cool attack marks in here. His armor has seen fighting in battle, so. And he's fought other chosen along with other powers. This is more than just the chosen. One thing I love is factions, having lots of different factions. Why is that not working? Did I actually dip it in the ink? Looks like I did. Try it again. There. Just didn't have it set. Pulling it seems to be better. I don't really get the scratchy noise. You need to watch a bit more, I think, of Sandra Hope inking, because I think she uses a quill. Not positive. I think she uses a dip pen. These little lines are, like the little style lines and all that. Doobly doo lines and things. Just to kind of get a rough kind of look to things. Now the Maru pen would be good in some place like this if I hadn't broken it. Because you can do little details very, very easily with it since it's a thinner piece. Now the G pen you can definitely do thick to thin. There's no doubt about that. But from what I was seeing, it's easier to start thicker and go thin. So you press down and lighten up as you throw the line. Well, the laundry's done. Let's finish the chest plate and then we'll go from there. Yeah, that does that. That definitely works a little bit better. This feels about the same. That nice scratchy noise. Mike doesn't seem to be picking it up. Granted, the way I have the gain set and everything on this, I'm not surprised. I'd actually be a bit more surprised if it was picking it up. The control is definitely getting better, which is good. I'm not as shaky. So, it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you've done it, you don't really forget. I mean, I'm no master inker. That's what Peter's for. Peter's an amazing inker. All I just need to do is be able to afford to pay him to ink. But hey, if the manga starts to pick up and I actually get a series out of it, I will have to hire assistants because it's the only way you can do manga in Japan, really. Because otherwise, the job will kill you, and it has a good chance of killing you anyway. But hey. Don't want to reach over the freshly inked lines with the hand. That's what we call dumb. Okay. Save progress. This is like shiny enough that it bugs my eyes a little bit. Okay. Just want to firm up the outer line on this a little bit more. Just a tad more. Kind of the whole, if it's closer to you, it should be darker. Now, the other way you can remove the film, I don't know if I said it, that's on these things, is you can, what was it? You can hold it under a lighter for like a minute. And I'll just cook it right off. So, there's a few ways you can get rid of it. Okay. Check that out for now. I think that's looking pretty good. Fairly happy with that. I like the feel. I like little disruption nicks. Oh, hatching. All right. Looks like the tip is just about out of ink. I got some stuff I got to do aside from this. Did a little bit over an hour. Let's kind of get this going in here. All right then. So if I can just ask everybody to do me the favor and give me some lovin's with the. All right. So if everybody can, do the stuff, leave a comment, comment, subscribe, that whole thing that I just played. I would be appreciative. Gets me some more watch hours and lets me build up on some other things, so that could be really good. So I tighten the top of that ink. Put the glove over here. Got my water, which I actually didn't drink any. I'll be doing that in a moment, though. And let's put this stuff over here. Actually, I'm going to get the pen out of here. Dry off. I'm also going to go and wash this under some warm water and wipe it off again. Oh. Need to get some cleaner. I had some, but I haven't used it in 30 years, so it probably isn't so good. Most likely not. But yeah, nothing a little bit of water, warm water can't help with. All right then, so put that down there. Go from there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming by, enjoying the show, and I'll see you next time. I'm not sure where I will stream next, but I will be streaming again. So until that time, bye everybody. Have a great one.